Good morning. My name is Ponio. I am Abagat.
I'm Marcus Esguerra.
And today we will be having 5 movie reviews. These movies were reviews done for our psychology subject.
These movies were specifically recommended because of the different insights we could learn.
Without further ado, we will start our personal review.
Wreck-It Ralph is a story about a video game antagonist named Ralph, where his only job is to destroy buildings and prevent the main protagonist, Felix, from fixing everything that he destroys and help the citizens in the game fix it, Felix. But after all this time, Ralph reveals his desire to stop being the bad guy. Back home, Ralph finds his other characters celebrating their game's 30th anniversary without inviting him. Felix reluctantly invites him to join them. But the others isolate him. They tell him that if he won a medal, as Felix does in their game, they would respect him. This motivated him to travel to other arcade games in order to achieve or win a game, where he is no longer the villain but the hero. A lot of people can relate to Ralph. Sometimes we are perceived by the way we look or the way we act, but this doesn't mean necessarily that we are all that or that we are easily seen as a bad person. In Ralph's case, he is programmed to be a villain or the bad guy. But if you would see him out of his own will and desire, he never wanted to be the bad guy. And he proved that he is really motivated to show that he can be a good person despite how he looks and what he is supposed to do, and that is to do nothing but destroy anything he holds. The lesson here is despite no matter what how people see you because of your mistakes or flaws, never lose hope to motivate yourself in becoming a better person. Accept your mistakes and move on with your life. Don't let your failures and their judgments make you the person you are today. As the saying goes, action speaks louder than words. If you want to change for the better, do it even without saying anything at all. We will always face obstacles and troubles in life. But just like Ralph, don't lose yourself no matter what. You will always find a good friend that will accept you for just who you are, just like Ralph's good friend, Vanellope von Schwitz.
The Megamind movie is a cartoon movie which is about defining what is good from evil. The two leading characters in the movie is Megamind, who is called as the villain, and Metro Man, who is the superhero in Metro City. Metro City is a place where they grew up. Megamind were raised in prison, that's why he loves doing bad things, while Metro Man, on the other hand, were raised by an educated rich family. Megamind always finds way on how to defeat Metroman and destroy the city. One of Megamind's plans succeeded and he had the chance to rule the city, but eventually Megamind got bored because he has no one to defeat. His next plan was to make a superhero, but it turned out to be a villain too. The twist of the movie is about a villain who turned out to be a good superhero. The experiences of Megamind before he turned out to be a villain is because he was always being outcasted or bullied because of his physical appearance. Then when he grew up, he planned to have revenge to his city. While Metro Man was raised by a well-educated, rich family and everybody loves him. It's like he's the center of attraction in the city, that's why he was called a superhero of Metro City. To have a better persona, according to this movie, is you must or they must know what's good from bad. Always think about the consequences of each actions that they are performing. And last, they should know that being good will never defeat evil.
Secret Window is a story about a successful but deeply depressed writer, Mark Rainey, who is currently going through a divorce with his wife, Amy. Alone in his cabin, a stranger named John Shooter shows up on his doorstep, claiming Rainey plagiarized his story. It all started the moment Rainey caught his wife in bed with Ted at a motel, cheating on him. After that, he started developing a split personality. All of his darker thoughts and actions go to his alter ego, John Shooter. Eventually, he accepts his darker side, kills his ex-wife and Ted. Also, it is revealed that Shooter is a personality of a schizophrenic Mark Rainey. Schizophrenia is a severe mental disorder that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. A stressful or traumatic incident can sometimes trigger the symptoms of this in particularly vulnerable people. So in the end, Shooter had gotten what he came for, becoming the dominant personality, essentially destroying Mort. You know, I think it would have been better if Rainey should have let go of Amy and just simply move on instead. I mean, he didn't have to dwell in the past. Life still goes on, you know. I think one of the reasons why his wife Amy left him in the first place is because of himself as well. He should have given her more attention while they were still together. If that's the case, things would have turned out well. Divorce and separation wouldn't happen. Split personalities and mental disorders would have not been developed.
In the movie Hide and Seek, David Calloway, a psychologist, discovers the dead body of his wife in a bathtub after she seems to have committed suicide. He then moves to New York with her daughter Emily. Upon moving to New York, Emily begins to have an imaginary friend called Charlie. Some eerie things happen and it turns out Charlie is David himself. He also realizes that Charlie was created in order to deal with his cheating wife whom he saw having an affair on the eve of New Year. Emily knew that David is Charlie, but she was afraid that Charlie would hurt her, so she never said a word to David. After an altercation, Catherine, a family friend, kills David. After some time, Emily has been adopted by Catherine and shows that Emily is preparing for school. But the screen flashes that Emily draws herself with two heads, suggesting she also developed split personality. The experience that caused David Calloway to develop split personality disorder is when he saw his wife cheated on him while they were in a party. Also, in the end, David's daughter developed split personality because of what she experienced with his illness. I think that traumatic experiences caused the mental illness that they acquired. Having split personality means that a person has one or more persons in his head, where one takes over the body from time to time. I think the people's persona are complex and alternate ending shows all angles possibilities to come up with different kinds of persona to the character Emily.
Parents need to know that Despicable Me centers around a supervillain who adopts three girls for the sole purpose of infiltrating his nemesis' house. Yes, you can expect mild insults like stupid and poop, and a lot of action sequences involving high-tech weapons that blast things to smithereens, as well as some scenes that imply injury, although no one is ever killed or seriously injured in this movie. But the most potentially disturbing aspect of the movie is the way that adoption is depicted. At least at first, families with adopted children may feel extra sensitive about the way that orphans, orphanage directors, and the entire adoption process is being handled. It's all played for laughs, yes, but some of it feels a little grim. Still, the movie's overall message is that even someone considered evil can have a change of heart, and that's a good lesson considering that most movies portray good and evil as absolutes.
And there